Welcome everybody to Sin City Living. My name is Jason and I'll be bringing you today's episode. As always, please hit those like and subscribe buttons. We have a ton of content for you guys coming out every single week, every single day generally. Occasionally miss a day like I did during the rodeo that is still ongoing right now. And I hope all of our patrons out there are appreciating the patron-only exclusive videos we're putting out with the dice class, putting one out every couple of weeks. And if you're curious about that, go ahead and check the description down below. Once I get this whole live stream thing figured out, I'm probably going to do a live stream on the patron site as well. One on the regular site, one on the patron site. I do have the new computer for it. Theoretically, I have everything ready. I'm just so busy currently with this rodeo. And one of our fans asked a question a little while back about ways to tip us, to show appreciation to us without having to sign up as one of our patrons. And at the time we did not have any way of doing it, but I have managed now to get us signed up with a site called Buy Me a Coffee. As I'm sure some of you guys have noticed from some of our videos, Louie and I are both pretty heavy coffee drinkers. So if you're curious about that as well, go ahead and check down below in the description as well. We would definitely appreciate any cups of coffee you're willing to pick up for us. And don't forget to email us with any strategies, questions, suggestions, anything at all. We love shooting those videos for you guys. I actually haven't gotten a new email in about 2 weeks. And also, don't forget, anybody that may be interested in one of the small Sin City Living neons that we have, just email us that as well, sincitylivingLV@gmail.com. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and get into today's episode. This email comes from Jason, and this isn't a strategy he's sending us, it's questions. It's a question about strategies to play. So let's take a look at this email and see what he is looking for. So he is looking for recommended strategies for a $10 table. Pretty easy, that's kind of standard out here. That's the lowest you're going to find out in Vegas right now. And a small bankroll, $500 to $600. Okay, $500 to $600 on a $10 table, that's doable. And some of the reasons why. So local casinos are all $10 even on the weekends. And let's see, smaller bankroll, $500 to $600, because he's got it in his head, you know, he's ready to lose what he's going with. So he's only going with what he's willing to lose. That's very smart. And he also puts that he would consider a good outing if he just wins $100 to $200. So that's awesome. $500 to $600 bankroll and only looking to win $100 to $200. This we could definitely work with. And then he puts the most important aspect is he would like to play as long as he possibly can. So, okay, we can definitely work with this. Let me see if I can find my notes with statistical likelihoods. There they are. All right. Pull this out. Okay. So let's look at this. So these parameters are fairly basic. We're looking at, I'm going to say $500 bankroll. Okay, $500 bankroll. So we're looking at a $500 bankroll, and we are looking at $10 minimum net table, and some strategies that could be done with a couple things in mind. Thing number one in mind, play as long as possible. So we want to be able to play and have fun. So I'm not going to recommend something like the Marching Soldier. While the Marching Soldier will allow you to play for a long time because you only have $10 of risk, you would get 50 shooters out of a $500 bankroll. Thing is, it's not super exciting. You don't have the same level of excitement you have with other strategies where you have more things hitting and you're pressing and doing this and doing that. So we're going to eliminate the Marching Soldier. So then let's look at it and say, okay, well, let's also eliminate the Iron Cross. And we're going to eliminate the Iron Cross because it's $61 invested, which is not out of the realm of possibility. We're going to talk about some other strategies that will have approximately the same amount invested per shooter. But because it's also not as fun. It's just, we want to find something that's going to be both exciting, fun to play, and able to win a little bit of money. Now, the kicker here, the best thing about this question is he's only looking to win $100 to $200. So he really only needs to catch 1 or 2 decent rolls, not even great rolls, just decent rolls in order to win that much and be able to call it a day. If he happens to hit an awesome roll, that'd be great. And all right, so let's see what we can think of. Well, the first thing that I would say is we're looking at place bets. Unless you're the shooter, in which case you're going to go ahead and do your $10 pass line. And if you want to do your pass line bet, but you want to feel like you're involved in the game, then by all means, go for it. Be involved in the game. Now, because he says, now typically, as you guys know, I would recommend 64 across. Okay, 64 across, including the point. And if you really want, you can add a fifth. You can add a $5 horn bet or horn high yo or something along those lines. If you want to do the whole iron cross idea of hitting every single number. But me, I would start out with, for me, it'd be a $70 investment. I would do 64 across, and then I would do $1 per number, so $6 across for the dealers. And do player control because I want to press them up and give them an opportunity to win some serious money. But $64 across is less than 8 shooters on a $500 bankroll if worst case scenario happens. And worst case scenario being 0.7 out. If you got, say, 7.7 outs in a row, you just got crushed. While I would recommend that, there's also another possibility. So let's take a look. So we've got 64 across. 64 across, and honestly, I think there's a couple different ways to play the 64 across, including the point. So I'm going to set it up twice. And set it up twice to give you a couple different options. And now the other possibility, and again, it's going to be independent of the point. It doesn't matter what the point may be. Okay? Even if at the point where 9, let's say the point's at 9. I would recommend 44 inside. 44 inside. The reason that I recommend 44 inside is because it's going to get you more than 10 shooters worth of bets, even under a worst case scenario. It's actually 11 shooters worth of bets under a worst case scenario. You know, in my case, it would be 10 shooters because I would do 44 inside, and again, $6 across for the dealers, player control, and press them up. So either one, 64 across or 44 inside. Either one of these would be my recommendation for a $10 table with a $500 bankroll. Why did I set up 64 across twice? Because there's a couple different ways you could play it. Now the idea here, because we want to see as many shooters as possible, is we want to make sure that we're pulling some money back. Pulling some money back every single roll. So I would look at these as either a mid-press or a press 1 unit type situation, with the exception of the inside. The exception of the inside. Okay, so let's look at the statistical likelihood now of rolls. And we're going to go with a short. We're going to say like a little 10-minute roll. Now we can take out the 2, the 3, the 11, and the 12. So let's look at 15 rolls without a 7 coming. So statistically, now we take out the 2, 3, 11, 12. So we're left with these numbers. So statistically, the 4 and 10 are going to come 1.5 times each. The 5 and the 9 are going to come twice each, and the 6 and the 8 are going to come 2.5 times each. Okay, so we're going to go from the inside out this time because we want to show what we would do with the 44 inside. So typically we'd start at the 4 and then go up, but we're going to start with the inside. So we'll start with the 6, then we'll do the 8, then we'll do 5, then we'll do 9. Okay. Now, the first time, so since it's 2.5 times each, let's say 3 and 2. Okay, 3 and 2. And same thing, since it's 1.5 times each, we'll say 2 and 1. Okay, so 3, 2, 2, 1. Now, the first time that the 6 rolls, if we're doing a mid-press strategy, probably going to do the same thing as we would on a press 1 unit, and we're just going to press it up 1. So same thing over here. 12 is going to pay 14. We're going to press it up to 18. Now, with the inside, we're going to do it a little bit different. And in this case, we're probably going to go ahead and give ourselves a 4. Right? Now, you could also just mid-press this. Some people will only play the inside. I like to expand all the numbers, but you don't have to. You could play just the inside. So if you have a smaller margin that you're looking for a win, it's certainly doable. Now, mid-pressing, the second time this one hits, we would go all the way up to 30, and we would collect the rest. Now on the press 1 unit, we're only going to, you'll never guess, press 1 unit. I know, it's shocking. Now the second time the 6 hits, we'll pay it 15 for 1, give ourselves a 10, and then collect that 5. So now the third time this hits, for the 6, throw in $2, we'll go to 42, we collect the green. For this one, I'll pay it 30 for 2. And we're going up to $30. Now, for the inside, now we are at the point where we can do either a mid-press or a press 1 unit. It's going to work out the same on this one. So that would be the 2 times the 6 hits. Obviously, there's some other numbers rolling, so it doesn't quite go perfectly to this. But the idea is your first few hits, you try and get the other 2 numbers. Once you've got the other 2 numbers, then you go with whatever strategy, be it a mid-press, a press 1 unit. You can do sister presses, whatever you want to do. So in this case, it's only going to hit twice. So the first time, sorry, my son is upstairs sleeping, so I am trying to do this as quietly as possible. We're going to press it up to 18. The next time around, we're going to press it up to 30. So that's the 2 times that hits. For the press 1 unit, we'll throw in $2. So we can just take that. And then the second time around, collect the 15. And same thing for the player that is inside. Okay, so I'm going to stop doing the inside ones because it's going to be pretty much the exact same as these 2 strategies at this point. Right? Just remember the 44 inside is a viable possibility, and if you don't want to expand out to the 4 and 10, then you can just do mid-press, press 1 unit, power press if you really want to. So now with these are going to hit twice each. So for a mid-press strategy, you're going to press it up 1 unit. The first time. And then the second time, you're going to collect $11, go up to a quarter. If you're pressing 1 unit, collect 10, press it up. And then the second time, you're going to collect 16 and press it up. Same thing over here. Now, something I want to point out here, and the reason that I always say the mid-press method is so highly underrated, is you look at this. 6 is hit 3 times, 8 is hit twice, 5 and 9 have hit twice each time, and the mid-press player is sitting on $97. The pressing 1 unit player is sitting on $118. In the shorter term, the shorter rolls, the shorter hands, pressing 1 unit ends up being superior to a mid-press or a power press by a pretty decent margin. Now, as things continue to progress, not so much. Once you get into the 20, 30-minute rolls, obviously mid-presses and power presses make more money because these bets end up higher. But when you're only looking to make $100 or $200 and you want to play for as long as possible, press 1 unit is probably the best strategy you're going to find. Okay, so the 4 and 10, now that I've shown you the basic idea of what you're going for, don't really feel the need to do the 4 and 10. The way that would work for a mid-press player, you would go up to 15, then you go up to 25. For a press 1 unit, you will go up to 15, then you go up to 20 on both of them. Now, this would be my recommendation. 64 across, including the point, press 1 unit. You can also do a mid-press if you like, or you can even just do inside and press 1 unit or mid-press. Okay, so my recommendation, 64 across including the point, or 44 inside including the point if necessary, and press 1 unit. Under the parameters that you gave, $10 minimum bet table, $500 bankroll, only trying to win $100 to $200, call it a day, and play as long as possible. that's what I would give you. I would recommend either one of these strategies as the most viable for what you're trying to do. They're also very, very simple. Very simple, very basic, but very strong. So I hope this answers your question, Jason. Thank you very much for sending it to us. We appreciate it. I hope everyone else finds this interesting, illuminating, enlightening, just plain fun. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye now. So, as I promised, I wanted to go over very briefly our upcoming attempts at a third test live stream. So what's happened so far? The first test live stream just flat didn't work. The problem that I had was was an equipment problem. I had an equipment problem in that the equipment that I was using to translate the camera into streamable video to the computer required a better USB port than the computer I was using at the time. So that one just flat failed because it would not translate into the computer. The computer would not pick it up, would not read it, so I wasn't able to live stream it. So then, as I was looking through, because I'm a little bit of a tech head, as I was looking through all of my other stuff, because I do have 4 laptops here and 3 computers, I did find one that actually did have the newer style USB port. Unfortunately, it was actually my oldest laptop, but I figured, what the heck, let me give it a shot. What's the worst that can happen? And this time around, when I fired everything up, the video was actually translating onto the computer, so things were looking better. But then when I attempted to live stream, the computer was not powerful enough to be able to translate it and then upload it sufficiently. So it basically just uploaded a blank screen for the live stream. So what I am going to have to do is, and I'm already looking into all of my options, I'm going to upgrade my computer so I can add, what, a 7th, 8th computer to my household. And I'm going to go much, much higher, and I'm going to get a computer that is far more than I need for this, far, far, far more powerful than I need for this. That way, any future upgrades that I may do, the computer will be able to handle it. So unfortunately, this computer is going to cost me about 25% more, about 25% of what I've already laid out in all the equipment for this channel. So it wasn't something that I could just instantly buy. I'm probably looking at Black Friday or Cyber Monday. So hopefully I have it within the next couple of weeks, and then I'll do another test live stream and see if I can go from there. So I will definitely do at least one weekly live stream on our Patreon because they're the ones that are really helping us get this computer. And the other equipment that I'm going to get, because I figure if I'm buying the computer, I might as well buy the most high-end capture cards and things along those lines, get everything as good as possible, and then hopefully eventually get a better microphone for you guys. So yeah, that's where we stand on the live stream. As soon as I have the computer and I do the test, which will be in a few weeks, like I said, got to order it in a week or two, then I have to wait for it to ship. Plus, we have probably the biggest event of the year coming up, the NFR National Finals Rodeo. So I'm basically working 2 weeks straight, as is my wife. So not going to have a whole lot of time. But once we get all that under control, then we'll figure out. There's been some schedule changes to myself, some schedule changes to my wife, and some upcoming schedule changes to my wife as well. So hopefully we can get all the scheduling figured out, so I know when I'll be able to live stream as well. My initial plan of Thursdays at 6 o'clock is already out the window. I'm at work at that point now. So we will get it all figured out, and we will let you guys know, I promise. And otherwise, I hope you guys have found this interesting, enlightening, illuminating, or at least just plain fun. And we will catch you guys next time. Bye now.